Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our podcast, Thrasher Opera House Presents. Today I'm here with Adam Greuel. We haven't seen you for a year. It's so good to see you again. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, springtime. It sort of feels like springtime. We call it sprinter this
Yeah.
time of the year, me and my family, this in between spring and winter. And it's kind of a fun time in Wisconsin though, waiting to see when it everything kind of perks up.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for taking a pause out of syruping or whatever
Yeah.
the technical term is, you and your
Sugaring.
family.
They call it sugaring.
Perfect.
I think it's more fun to be like, I went sugar bushing, you know. So I say that, but yeah, it's a cool little family thing we do.
That's
So
awesome.
makes this time of year fun.
You make music and you make syrup. I mean, pretty amazing.
It's a sweet life.
Good one. Oh my gosh. So, as I mentioned, we saw you a year ago. It was a year ago in March that you and Sarah of Rucksack Revolution were at Thrasher Opera House, and we will be seeing you again this March, March 21st at Thrasher Opera House. Um, and man, I got to tell you, that performance really, really, I don't know if it was the perfect day in my life to hear it, but it had such an impact on me. I left feeling so great afterwards.
We did too.
Thank
We
you
did
for
too.
that.
Yeah, there was some nights, there's just a magic to it or whatever, and it all kind of falls into the perfect place. And
Yeah.
I just remember there was a lot of really nice people in that room. There was like a very warm vibe, and we went over and I think we perhaps may have eaten or just had a drink at the Goose Blind.
Oh yeah, you betcha.
Yeah. And
Seriously.
that was good. That put us in a good mood. And gosh, I think my parents were there, but
I was
like
just gonna say your folks were there, so that made
yeah.
it extra
Oh,
special.
we were both wearing denim. We were
Well,
joking. We played denim folk music.
I was gonna ask you, what are you wearing this time?
Yeah. Well,
You have your outfit planned.
how can we outdo a night of the Canadian tuxedo? That's
I mean, maybe that's just your thing. Maybe you got to do that again.
yeah, we have to do it 25% better. Um,
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, so these guys, we have two incredible songwriters that are coming to Thrasher. This album I picked up when you guys were here. But
yeah,
I didn't have you sign it. And I usually have I have like 9 years of Thrasher artist vinyl
that's
that
cool.
I've collected. But for some reason, I didn't get your signature. So I'm bringing this back that night. I'm going to have you sign it if that's okay.
Absolutely. Love doing that. I love vinyl too. It's
Yeah.
it's such
I,
an in this day and age, it's so nice to not just click a button. It's nice to like have a thing that you interact with. And it's like kind of fun to have to turn it and like just really dig in and appreciate the music.
and listen to it in order. Like that's really important
Yeah,
for me. I feel like that's probably something artists think about, right? What order you put the
absolutely.
songs on this album and the internet you just skip around, but here you get with a piece of vinyl or even a CD, an album, you get to go on the whole entire journey. So,
Sometimes painstakingly so. I mean, this album I remember looking at, obviously you look at things like tempo and the vibe and even the topical matter. Like, does this song feel goofy or does it feel more heavy?
yeah.
You look at that stuff, but also you look at keys sometimes that the songs are in.
Oh,
'Cause,
sure.
you don't want to go from like one key to another key that would sound like kind of foul next to each other. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I look at that sometimes too, like going from G to C probably is going to sound good, but maybe going from G to B might sound a little weird, and things like that.
And that is one thing I hadn't thought of as far as listening to the songs in order. So now I'm going to listen for things like that. Thank you.
Totally,
Learned something
totally.
today. Let's talk about some new music. You might use our audience as guinea pigs, perhaps.
Well, I maybe sort of guinea pigs, but also it's just really fun to play these new songs because they're so fresh right now. They're kind of like being born. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like, so there's more excitement to them. And me and Sarah, even sometimes with her, I'll bring a song that day, and I'll have sent it to her the day before or something, and we'll try to run it during sound check or whatever, and then just play it that night. And you can do that with a duo that has like a good natural chemistry together. We just kind of
You guys really do.
works or whatever.
Really do have a great chemistry on stage, and in real life too. And you both are involved in other bands and other groups. Let's talk about, it seems like you're involved in a million things. So the first time I ever met you at Thrasher was with Charlie Barron's.
Yeah, that's right.
So something vastly different than Rucksack Revolution. But you run around with Charlie Barron's. You've got horseshoes and hand grenades and the space burritos. Talk
Yep.
about some
The
of those.
High Hawk, Puddle Pool and Greuel. Yeah. Well, this next weekend, I'm with Charlie in the Pacific Northwest, or Seattle and Portland, stuff like that. Then I think I come back and we do one Space Burritos, Adam and the Space Burrito show. And then I think the next night's a horseshoe show in Appleton. So like I really love it because like a lot of musicians and like a lot of people who just enjoy music, I have a really eclectic taste, you
Yeah,
know. Sometimes I want to listen to, true blue rock and roll, and the next minute I want to listen to real mellow folk music, and then maybe I'm just like down in the dumps and I need some comedy and I'll listen to some comedy. And I thought to myself at some point when Horseshoes kind of slowed down because people wanted to have families and stuff like that.
there's that.
Yes, there is. And it's tricky,
Yeah.
doing it as an entertainer. But anyhow, it dawned on me one day that I needed to see it as an opportunity, to branch out and do different things as opposed to kind of wallowing in, something having to slow down. You
Yeah.
give yourself a couple days of being frustrated, and then you got to figure out what am I going to do? How am I going to get through this? And just these cool doors started opening, to do stuff with Charlie, to do stuff with some of my musical heroes and the High Hawks, to do things certainly with Sarah, which is just such a blessing because she's so incredibly talented. I've looked up to her stuff in Dead Horses for, since I first heard them, since I walked in a room and heard her voice.
Well, and her voice is just incredible in the Thrasher space. It just, ooh. But
Yeah.
thank you for that lovely piece of life advice. Like it's okay to kind of wallow for a little bit, but then look for the doors opening, look for the next opportunity, and
We've gotta, right? I mean, there's so in so many different ways that hits you, and it's like, okay, let's, as Charlie says, let's keep her moving.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
There's a lot to that, but I love the Thrasher because I love the smaller old theaters, that are more intimate and like they have great acoustics and you just feel much more at home than you do at some of these larger spaces or that are run by like multinational corporations.
Right, right, right. We're the real deal. Well, speaking of historic theaters, I saw a post you made about being at the Ryman, maybe back in January, um, with a lot of names dropped in that one post.
Oh yeah,
And
wild. It was a
tell me about that
bizarre.
night. I wish I was in that room with you.
Well, yeah, it was a funky thing because it was David Grisman's son, Sam Grisman. David Grisman's the great mandolin player who played with Jerry Garcia and Stefan Grappelli, all those types of people. He was playing the Ryman with like his new project with kind of the bluegrass legend Peter Rowan was playing
Yeah,
you.
we've met Peter Rowan. He's been to Thrasher.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And he's just so cool on so many levels. And Sam Bush was there, all these cats, and I think just that, you know, kind of energy whirlwind brought all these people that had been in the greater Nashville area, some by chance and others that live there. Of course, these days, so many people live in Nashville.
Right, right.
And yeah, it was wild because me and Vince, Vince Herman from Leftover
Oh
Salmon,
yeah.
ended up going there, not realizing how gnarly this night was going to be. And, you know, uh, Vince, of course, is like a legend in the bluegrass scene. So that opened up doors for me to be able to interact with these people, many of which I had met through the years too. And
Yeah.
we ended up in the back of Robert's Western World up in the
Which
balcony.
is my favorite place on Broadway. I love that
That
place.
that specifically the upper balcony area
Oh my God, it's
covers.
great.
I
Yeah.
know if you it one time I think it was I was in Nashville doing a show at Charlie. They've got those grilled cheeses you can get late at night, and I think I bought 10 grilled cheeses.
Grilled bologna sandwiches.
Yes, there's
Yes.
that.
And a moon pie and a PBR. That's their
Yeah,
special.
for
It
like
doesn't get any more
for like
special than
six
that.
dollars. Yeah, right.
It's like
Totally.
the greatest honky tonk music ever at that.
Yeah, like the real type
Yeah.
country music, not
Yeah.
like pop, more pop country. But yeah, that's I I get so lucky sometimes to be in the presence of some of these people and just, it's kind of like, man, pinch me kind of
Yeah.
a vibe. And the road goes on forever and the party never ends. So Robert Earl Keen uh says, but it's cool. There's so many people making great music right now. And
It's true.
uh
I was just saying that in the office today. Like, man, there's not enough dates on the calendar for all the good music in this world, man.
absolutely. And there's not enough, I was in the Sugar Bush earlier and my mom was there and we were just, kind of BSing. And I said to her, it's so puzzling that anyone in life ever says, I'm bored. The
Indeed.
words, I'm bored. It's like, how are you bored? There's like so much music to listen to, so many books to read. I'm the type that's like, uh wishing there was like 48 hours in a day,
Well, okay, so someday when you're not in 5,000 bands, I feel like you should write a book because you have a lot of good advice. You've got a great outlook on life that really appreciate from your posts on social media and just from meeting you and talking with you. I think you're a great human. And
Likewise. And it's just from trying to sort it all out. You know what I mean? We're here, we're trying to figure out how to get to the next day and keep a
Yeah,
smile on and
yeah.
do the thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm so looking forward to gathering together for your show on the 21st. Rucksack Revolution. We still have tickets available. You can get them online at thrasheroperahouse.com or give us a call at the office. There's real people that work there and we're happy to help you get a ticket.
Yeah, real humans. Maybe Rich, I'll bring you a bottle of maple syrup. Maybe if it runs hard enough by showtime, I'll bring these little tiny maple syrup containers for the whole crowd.
That would be
All do a
phenomenal.
shot of maple syrup together.
I love that.
That
Let's
would
make
be
that
epic.
happen.
That would be epic.
You heard it here first, folks. Maple syrup shots at the Rucksack Revolution show on March 21st, Thrasher Opera House. Adam, thank you so much for chatting today, taking a pause out of your sugaring to be with us, and we look forward to seeing you on the 21st.
Great to chat with you, and I can't wait to be back at the Thrasher. I know Sarah's stoked too, so
Awesome. Rock on, dude. We'll see you then.
sounds good.